these are all forms of corporate madness. AI adoption is out of control. So how do we fix it? We need a method. And the opposite of the mad fool is the sage, the one who gets things fixed with wisdom and judgment. To try my method to think more sage, that stands for strategy, adoption, growth, and engagement. Stage starts with your people and works outwards to your stakeholders and customers. S is for strategy. Align it with your goals, not FOMO. AI hype fuels fear of missing out. The pressure to do something with AI keeps execs busy who need a new thing to hook their reputation to. But the organisations doing it well aren't chasing hype. They're asking what they will get out of it first. Is your AI approach aligned with your growth, innovation, and technology strategy, or is it a bolt-on? Have you designed it alongside your teams to support existing skills and roles? And crucially, where do you sit on the spectrum between disruptive and continuous innovation? Disruptive innovation, the 1997 phrase coined by Clayton Christensen in his best-selling book, The Innovator's Dilemma, redesigns your category entirely. The thinking power of the first wave of digital transformation. Move fast, break things, the mantra on the wall of Facebook's HQ. AI could do the same thing to establish ways of working. Startups can build automation-first processes that disrupt the established flow of the incumbent. Now, continuous innovation improves what you already do. Established brands may need to balance opportunity with disruption, particularly in regulated sectors. Automate carefully by co-designing approaches that evolve carefully with your teams. Move slow, fix things. Now, both are fine approaches. They require different investment levels, risk tolerance, and organisational readiness. The level of disruption your go-to market team may not match what's expected in legal and regs. Rohit Dewan, Director of AI at Lloyds Banking Group, put it well. We're taking incremental steps to do something exponential. Now, Lloyds serve 30 million UK customers. It's a regulated industry that needs to get any change absolutely right. There are hard costs, fiscal and reputational, for mistakes. Now, for a smaller business, going too slow may not cut it. So define this. For each area of your business, where do you want to sit between disruptive and continuous innovation? Have you agreed that with your leadership team? A is for adoption, people first and tech second. The typical tech adoption model focuses most of the efforts on investment, about 70%, on the technology itself, making sure the vendor solution solves every use case, procurement drives a mean bargain on overage costs and SLAs. Some thought goes into the data and system integration. Then some months or years later, the solution gets pushed into the hands of people, the remaining 10%. And I'll look at it with a similar curiosity to a monkey handing the mobile phone dropped into its enclosure. What on earth do I do with this? It is backwards. The most successful AI transformations invert the pyramid, putting efforts towards people-led transformation, changing what and how people learn, adapting to new workflows and training the AI, checking how it's going or is and isn't working, and whether it's working better for the end user. Charles Jennings' research showed that 70% of learning comes from doing, 20% from collaboration and peer exchange, and only about 10% from formal training. The models are evolving fast. They're increasingly interchangeable. So what lasts is the capability and culture you build in people working with automation. Building AI fluency, not just using tools, but using AI as an extension of expert thinking, takes at least 20 hours of practical learning. Most organisations aren't anywhere near that, and that's a shame, as research from the Adaptivist Group shows that those getting that level of AI training report better job outcomes, better satisfaction and ability to explain AI's returns and benefits, and they self-report getting 10 hours a week back from being more confident users. That seems like a solid ROI for a few days of training. Successful AI adoption needs a brush that's wide and narrow, wide enough to provide a foundational layer and good enough tools for everyone, and narrow to define specific tools or workflows for that business function. Like previous ways of tech transformation, the adoption gap tracks closely with gender, age and income. Harvey and Berkeley's 2025 analysis, the largest study to date on AI and the gender adoption gap, found that women are consistently 22% less likely to use AI at work than men. And Pew Research's report on US workers identifies rural women and over 50s as the least likely to engage with AI. If your AI program only works for half of your people who are already tech savvy, privilege and opportunity widens and you won't see the gains. An inclusive approach to AI raises all boats. Every person in your organisation deserves access to the skills and tools they need to grow. Knowledge needs to flow two ways: top-down training and governance to establish the foundation and guardrails. But from the teams I talk with, the best learning is peer-to-peer. A good AI Champions programme channels those who are naturally enthusiastic and want to learn across a range of teams, experience levels, and roles. And they can share what's good in the hood and avoid the secrecy of hiding AI learning. So define this. How will you build AI fluency with an inclusive approach across all teams, including those who are disengaged or non-users? The final two stages of SAGE look at external perception. G is for growth, beyond efficiency to co-intelligence. So most AI projects are framed as an efficiency play, aiming to do more with less. The magic being sales folk from big AI sell in double digits just how much faster, quicker, or more can be done at the push of a button. Now, whether these claims, like Sam Altman's from early 2024, that AI would eradicate 95% of marketing jobs in 5 years, the clock is ticking, Sam, hold water, it's a case of suck it and see if it sucks. But efficiency isn't growth. If your team can see that AI adoption means doing the same work faster for the same pay before the inevitable cull, don't be surprised if they disengage. Growth means asking what AI makes possible, not what it makes cheaper. The most exciting opportunity is what Ethan Mollick calls co-intelligence. People and AI working as teammates, not just operators supervising the machine. The cybernetic teammate study with Procter & Gamble found that teams working with AI consistently outperformed individuals working with AI, and those working without it were the least effective. The teams co-working with AI were less siloed, more creative, and reported higher job satisfaction. Note, that does not mean you need to personify your AI or give it a name, even if it's already called Claude. That is the equivalent of putting googly eyes on the Roomba. Do not do it. To grow, you need to be found, and right now your search and web content manager is losing sleep over the slow death of their beloved site. Search traffic has fallen sharply as AI becomes the answer engine. Google now overlays AI summaries on many searches, cutting click-throughs by around a third. So brands that rely on traditional, if we can call it now, SEO, are less discoverable. So what to do? The answer isn't more content, it's more specific expertise and better structured web content that gives answers, technically and conceptually designed for people and bots. And growth isn't about injecting bland AI-generated content into every crevice. That's a trust turnoff. Apply the same good skills of branding for AI as every other corporate message. Make it clear, persuasive, relatable, and show how it solves a problem. Define this. What could AI enable your teams to do together as collaborators, doing more, doing it differently, and hopefully doing it better? And E is for engagement, building external trust. Transparency isn't a policy on your website, and it's not a one or done communication. It's an ongoing dialogue with your stakeholders about how you use AI and what it means for them. And you don't need an expensive ad campaign, but you do need a clear explanation of what you're doing and why. The EU AI Act and other regulations are setting standards, but organisations building trust go beyond that level of compliance. They get customer feedback about using AI in their products and listen to concerns about data privacy. McKinsey's research showed that digital trust leaders, organisations that combine data privacy, responsible AI, and clear communications, are significantly more likely to get 10% or more annual growth. Trust isn't a soft metric, it's commercial too. Now, I've got a wall of awards for branded corporate comms, humble brag, but I'd love to say it's an easy fix. Some bits are, like Channel 4's corporate AI policy, which talks about how they align AI with their values, not just blah, blah, blah about avoiding bias, which is easy to say but very hard to prove. But good corporate and branded content can start a dialogue. Debates invite customers to be part of the discussion. Videos and podcasts, when done well, can position the brand alongside credible experts. And original research helps position by showing the market outlook from the customer's perspective. So define this. How do your customers experience your AI approach, and how do you know that? What opportunities can widen customer dialogue? So that's my SAGE method. Now, the SAGE doesn't acquire instant knowledge from an LLM prompt, sadly, but the SAGE is wise and conscious, sometimes cautious. But in fast-moving tech adoption, you also need to be a bit sanguine, the fast one, upbeat and optimistic, so people follow you on the path. AI adoption is moving beyond the "we have an AI program," so is the cost and the scrutiny. The 6 months after this rollout should look very different to this one, and if you're leading the charge, you need to show the gains, not tasks completed. The organisations winning with AI get one thing right, that people trust their approach. They start at the inside and work out, not with licenses and platforms, but by building the relationship.